Recently, I was coaching a senior leader, and he happened to be a very successful leader. He was leading his team successfully. They were achieving their business results year on year, and everything was going good. Now, this made me curious to ask him a question that why did he sign me as a coach? And he was very quick to add that he's doing everything good with respect to his team in achieving business results. But what is bothering to him is that he's not able to get time for his own self in strategic thinking, in making himself ready for the next level. Even 16 to 18 hours a day is less for him working along with his team. That prompted me to ask another question to probe more. So I asked him, tell me what exactly you are looking out when you are spending 16 to 18 hours with your team. And he says that if I don't do this, I would not be leading from the front. I would not be helping my team to achieve their goals. So my involvement is or has to be very high if we have to achieve our goals, and that's what motivates him to work day in and day out with his team. And the cost of this was that he was not able to get time. Well, I understood what is exactly the problem. The problem that a lot of leaders face is, we call it as delegation or poor skills on how to delegate. And once they are not able to do this, the simplest outcome is that they tend to become very busy, they tend to become very operational, and they tend to get involved in day-to-day smallest thing, and eventually they get also into micromanagement without realizing this, that how fast they are reaching those spots. Well friends, my name is Arun Thukral. I am a life and a leadership coach, and today in this video I am going to talk to you about why leaders don't delegate. We will also learn about what delegation is and what are the challenges these leaders generally have when they are highly successful and they want to be every time, everywhere, and everything that their teams are doing. And eventually they don't know what exactly is going on. So don't go anywhere, and don't forget to like and subscribe this channel. And also now I'm going to tell you what delegation is and what are the 8 to 9 strategies that people undergo when they don't delegate. Let's first understand what delegation means. Delegation simply means giving a part of your job accountability to someone in your team whom you feel is capable and also has the potential to grow in the future. But a lot of leaders mistake between delegating a part of your accountability versus allocating the task. So they start giving the routine work as a part of delegation to their teammates, which is generally not taken very well by a particular teammate, and that too when he or she is a performer. A lot of leaders, when they allocate tasks, they generally have a tendency to tell what is going to be done, how it is going to be done, exactly when it is going to be done. And not only that, they get into very minute details of how that particular task is getting delivered, and they keep following it up. If any leader does something like this, it is simply a task allocation and not delegation. So what we can say that delegation simply means that when you give autonomy, freedom, and opportunity to your teammates to do and learn things in their own way, and you provide a mentorship how they are going to do it, that is when the delegation process starts. So for example, you want to develop one of your teammates to become more strategic. Think about giving that individual a new market to develop. You just sit with that person, make him think what exactly are going to be his core task, and then allowing him to give that opportunity to go out, work in the marketplace, identify new business opportunities, what is going to be the next vision for that particular market with respect to business, the opportunities that exist, and let him or her come back to you that what are the findings in a periodic interval around 3 months to 6 months time. By giving such kind of autonomy, you allow the person to have the freedom to take the challenge and bring out the best out of him, and you as a leader will also be able to add value to the work. If you do something like this, that's precisely we call it as delegation. But if I allocate a task, and let's say if I ask you to compile all the data of all the teammates for the last 6 months, and if I ask you exactly when you have to do it, how you have to do it, and where all you need to go to get it, you are just allocating the task, and eventually you are showing that you want to be in control of everything, and that is not delegation. Now in the next part, let's learn, where do leaders fail to delegate? What makes them to think that they only need to be in the top of the game when exceeding their objectives or doing their day-to-day work? Now, out of my training and coaching experience over the years, I have got bunch of reasons that I am going to share with you that why leaders don't delegate. The number one reason that comes to my mind is lack of trust. A lot of leaders do not trust in their people because they feel that their people are not capable, and that is where they feel that only they have the capability and they have the trust on themselves more than their teammates, and due to which they tend to keep the work completely on them. The second important reason is lack of capabilities. A lot of leaders feel that their team is incapable to deliver certain critical tasks, and in order to do those critical or important tasks, they keep it very close to their chest and they want to do it on their own. This is the time that you should think that as a leader, it is your responsibility to build capabilities in individuals who are high potential. And to do that, you have to first understand what high potential means and what all you are doing to develop the potential of people. Once you are able to do this, you will not only help to build their capabilities, but also start building trust on them. The third factor that comes is, I can do it better. A lot of leaders have this kind of thinking, that kind of belief in their mindset that it is only they who can do things in the best and the better way and no one else can do it. And this prompts them to do things and take things on their own. The mistake a lot of leader makes that over a period of time, they tend to get into the habit that they start taking everything on themselves, and without realizing, the pile of work starts to grow up. When that starts to happen, a lot of leader gets over time very busy, and even their own quality of work gets compromised. This is where you need to really think about that how I can start delegating the task. The fourth factor that leaders do not delegate is not enough time. A lot of leaders want to prove that whatever task comes at their end, whatever work that comes at their end, it needs to be done in the most efficient way and in the most time efficient method. And in order to do so, they feel that if they delegate this task to some of their teammates, they may not be able to finish it in a given and a specific time. And that tends them to do things and take things in their own hand. Well, if as a leader you understand that when you spend time with your people in becoming more capable by delegating things in the forefront, you tend to save a lot of time for your own self in doing more strategic things, and simultaneously you are helping the individual to grow and become more better and capable. Think about it. If you are thinking that it is not enough time, that's a wrong perception. The fifth factor that comes in when leaders don't delegate is losing control of work. A lot of leaders fear that by letting go things from them will make them lose control, and that makes them insecure. They may feel unsafe at a work environment. Well, as a leader, you have to learn how to take a calculated risk and how you can let go of control from yourself and empower your people to come in the forefront and deliver those tasks. This is exactly leadership is. If as a leader you are able to grow more people by letting go of your control, by taking calculated risk, you are encouraging people to come forward and take more responsibilities and shoulder your work. By doing this, you are making leaders capable, you are also preparing them for the future role. So think about it, are you really controlling your work because you feel by giving it that you become insecure? If that is the case, it's your problem, not your team's problem. The sixth factor that comes that why leaders don't delegate is not getting credit of their work. I'm sure even as a leader, first you are a human being, and the human nature is that people should appreciate your work. You should get credit of all the hard work that you do. But the only thing that changes that when you get into the shoes of a leader, more than you, your success is counted based on what your team is achieving or can achieve in the future. Which means when you let go of the credit, when you give empowerment to your people and showcase them in the broader forum of town halls, meetings, and various important forums, you are encouraging your teammate to come up, which instills a lot of confidence in them to achieve more. So, as a leader, if you do these things, you are actually setting up yourself to become the most inspiring leader where people would look up to you. And that is what leadership is. So don't worry, your credit will eventually come out, but if you jump into every forum, every stage that you did it, and you want to take the credit of the work, your team will feel deprived of their hard work. Leadership is all about developing people and preparing future leaders for the organization. So think about it, that are you insecure about the credit of the work not coming to you? The seventh point is perception of laziness. I have seen in my tenure in the corporate and even in coaching, a lot of leaders feel that if they delegate the task and they sit at the office, they will be perceived by their senior leaders as being lazy because they feel that their teams are working and this leader is sitting at office. Now, coming out of that perception, a lot of leaders tend to show that they are very busy at work and they feel empty when they feel that they are not doing anything. Eventually, this is a bigger mistake because this perception of laziness is in your mind. If you can convince your leadership that how you are developing the future leader and you have the right processes and system to control each and everything, you will be able to get better mileage out of the work that you are getting done from your people. So you have to come out from the perception of being a lazy leader that is getting perceived by others, but more importantly, you know in the heart of heart that you are building the capabilities of your people for future challenges. The eighth factor that why leaders don't delegate, because they feel that their people are too occupied. I've seen that leaders starts to get emotional that when they see that their people are highly occupied with work, they feel that it is their time to come in the forefront to shoulder the work with them. Well, that is again a wrong perception because when you allow your people to maximize their potential, you really need to give them more tasks but at the appropriate balance and allocate tasks to your other teammates. But thinking that they are too busy with their work and they are not able to deliver results is a false perception. If they are really too busy, that's your role to help them and understand where they are stuck. What kind of skills that they need that you need to develop on them so that they can execute the task with more quality and with the precision of time. But thinking that they are too busy is a wrong perception, and that's where a lot of leaders inhibit or they lack the capability to delegate the task and take it on themselves, and that's how they become too busy and that's how they become too unproductive over a period of time. Finally, we come to the last part, and that is I don't know how. A lot of leaders don't acknowledge that they lack delegation skills. In fact, acknowledging first is one of the most important factors in your development. That's why understanding the difference between delegation and allocating tasks are two different things. So it's okay to understand where you lack, but it's not okay that you don't try to change that perception and your belief that you don't know delegation. So in overall, if I have to sum it up, in my understanding, delegation is equivalent to a relay race. You cannot run the whole race by carrying the baton on your own self. You have to pass it on to people, and together you win, together you achieve the goals. But if you think that you will run all alone by taking the baton on yourself, then clearly right from the beginning you are clear that this is going to be a race you are going to lose. If you have chosen to become a leader, it's your responsibility to develop more leaders. If you have chosen to take on things in your hand, it simply means that you are getting into a busy world which is not going to help you to become a future leader for yourself, and that's where you lack strategic skills. So I hope this video would have given you some insights and some important areas where people don't delegate. And if you want to be a successful leader, the one skill that you really need to shape up is delegation skills, which will not only help for more leaders, but for you to become a strategic one. If you really enjoyed this video, like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and put your comments in the comment section. And if you have a burning topic or a question in your mind, do post it and I will personally respond back to you. Thank you so much for watching me, and stay connected on this channel.